Dude, who doesn't love open world games? And let's be honest, sometimes we get tired of playing alone. That's when everything becomes even better if you have a friend to share the adventure with, explore every corner of the map, and create those stories that only multiplayer can deliver. Today, I've picked 15 open world games that simply make way more sense when played as a duo. These are experiences built around cooperation, strategy, and shared fun. You can be sure every game on this list is worth every cent and every minute of your time.
1. Minecraft. I know, starting with Minecraft feels like a duh moment, but hear me out. There is something fundamentally different about survival mode when you're not doing it solo. I remember the first time a buddy and I started a world from scratch. One of us was the architect building a house that actually looked decent, while I was the grunt mining level 12 for hours just to find diamonds. It's that division of labor that makes it so addictive. When you're deep in a cavern, low on torches, and you hear a creeper hiss behind you, having a friend there to watch your back is a literal lifesaver. The emergent gameplay here is what keeps it alive. We weren't just playing a game, we were building a kingdom. We'd set goals like, tonight we're hitting the nether, and the sheer chaos of trying to navigate those ghast-filled skies together is peak comedy. Sure, the graphics are just blocks, but the lighting engine in the newer updates actually looks beautiful during a sunset. My only gripe? When your friend accidentally burns down the storage room. Authentic? Yes. Annoying? Absolutely. It's the ultimate digital Lego set where the only limit is how much time you and your duo are willing to sink into it.
2. Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, if you want pure, unadulterated madness, GTA Online is the king. I've spent literal years in Los Santos, and while the grind can be a bit much sometimes, doing heists with a reliable partner is some of the most intense fun you can have. I remember the first time we pulled off the Cayo Perico heist stealthily, the adrenaline was real. We were whispering over the mic like we were actually in a movie. The world is just so dense. You can go from a high-speed chase on the highway to just chilling on a yacht watching the Vinewood signs glow. The sandbox nature is what makes it humiliate other games. The sheer variety of vehicles, from oppressors to vintage lowriders, is insane. But let's be real, the public lobbies can be a toxic nightmare with griefers. That's why playing in a private or friends-only session is the way to go. You and your duo can run your own criminal empire, manage nightclubs, and just cause chaos without some kid on a flying bike blowing you up every 5 seconds. It's a messy, loud, and brilliant world that feels like a living, breathing parody of real life. It's definitely better when you have a partner in crime to share the spoils with.
Number 3. No Man's Sky. Talk about a redemption story. No Man's Sky went from a lonely, empty universe to one of the best co-op experiences out there. I'll never forget the first time my friend and I landed on the same planet, summoned our ships, and just flew into space together seamlessly. No loading screens, just pure exploration. We found this radioactive planet with giant glowing mushrooms and decided, yeah, we're building a base here. Exploring the infinite procedural universe feels way less daunting when you have someone to help you gather resources or fight off those annoying sentinels. The scale of this game is actually terrifying if you think about it too much, but the base building mechanics are so deep now. You can literally build a massive underwater research station together. What I love most is the Nexus missions. They're specifically designed for multiplayer. One of you can be the designated pilot while the other handles the ground combat. It's chill, it's beautiful, and the music, man, the soundtrack is a vibe. If you want a game where you can just talk about life while discovering a new galaxy, this is the one. It's a peaceful yet massive adventure that feels empty if you don't have a wingman.
4. Ark Survival Evolved. Okay, let's get a bit more primal. Ark is a love-hate relationship for me. It's buggy, it's laggy, and it can be incredibly frustrating. But man, taming a T-Rex with your best friend, that feeling is unmatched. I remember staying up way too late just to make sure our baby raptor didn't starve to death. It's a game of high stakes. When you lose your base to a rival tribe or a wild Spinosaurus, it hurts. But rebuilding together, stronger than before, is what builds real-life bonds. The gameplay is a brutal grind, I won't lie. You're going to spend a lot of time punching trees and picking up stones, but once you get to the tech tier and you're flying on pteranodons with laser cannons, yeah, it's worth it. The map is huge and full of secrets, from deep underwater caves to snowy mountains. Playing solo is basically a death sentence because you can't be everywhere at once. You need one person crafting the narcotics while the other is out hunting for prime meat. It's a chaotic, dinosaur-filled mess that I wouldn't trade for anything, as long as I have a buddy to scream with when a raptor jumps out of the bushes.
Number 5, Genshin Impact. Alright, let's talk about a game that took the world by storm, and honestly, for good reason. Genshin Impact is often called a single-player game with co-op features, but man, when you hit those high-level domains or world bosses, having a duo makes life so much easier. I remember the first time a buddy joined my world, we spent 2 hours just running around Liu, marveling at the scenery. The art style is gorgeous. It's like a playable anime that actually feels high budget. The elemental combat system is where the multiplayer really shines. You can be playing as a Hydro character, wetting the enemies, while your friend comes in with a Cryo character to freeze them solid. It's that synergy that makes the combat feel like a dance. The world of Teyvat is massive and constantly growing, and honestly, hunting for those hidden chests or solving puzzles is way less tedious when you're chatting with a friend. I'll be real with you though, the gacha system can be a bit of a pain if you have addictive tendencies, and the resin tab can feel like a stop having fun button. But as a free-to-play experience, it's insane how much content they give you. Every time a new region drops, like Fontaine or Sumeru, the sense of discovery is peak. It's a chill, vibrant world that's perfect for those late-night sessions where you just want to explore a beautiful landscape and beat up some hilichurls together.
6. Dying Light. I know I mentioned this in my other list for graphics, but as a multiplayer game, Dying Light is a freaking masterpiece. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, like parkouring across the rooftops of Heron with a friend while the sun is setting. When night falls and the volatiles come out, the game turns into a straight-up horror movie. I remember my friend and I screaming into our headsets as we sprinted toward a safe zone, barely making it inside before we got mauled. The co-op is seamless, and having someone to watch your back while you're lockpicking a police van for loot is essential. The combat is so crunchy and satisfying. You can craft these insane electrified machetes or flaming baseball bats, and seeing your friend drop-kick a zombie off a 10-story building never gets old. What I love is how the game scales. You start as these weak survivors, barely able to climb a wall, and by the end, you're 2 urban ninjas flying around with grappling hooks. The story is a bit B-movie, sure, and the protagonist, Kyle Crane, is a bit of a generic hero guy, but the gameplay loop is so perfect that you won't even care. It's a playground of destruction and movement, and it's one of the few games where I've actually felt a genuine "we survived that" bond with my co-op partner.
Number 7, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, if you want to feel like a total tactical badass, Ghost Recon Wildlands is the absolute peak. This game has one of the biggest open worlds I've ever seen. It's a massive recreation of Bolivia, and every province has its own vibe, from salt flats to dense jungles. Playing this with a duo is a completely different experience than playing with AI. You can actually coordinate. I'd be on a ridge with a sniper rifle, spotting targets, while my buddy would sneak into the cartel base with a suppressed SMG. Sync shots feel so rewarding when they're executed by 2 actual people. The freedom here is what makes it special. You can steal a helicopter, skydive into a compound, finish the objective, and be gone before the alarm even sounds. Or, you can mess up, blow a C4 charge too early, and spend the next 10 minutes in an epic, desperate shootout against the Unidad. It's those unscripted moments that make it great. The villain, El Sueño, is a menacing presence, and systematically taking down his lieutenants feels like you're actually dismantling a cartel. It can be a bit Ubisofty with the repetitive side missions, but when you're playing with a friend, the tactical roleplay possibilities are endless. It's the ultimate tactical sandbox for anyone who grew up watching action movies.
8. The Division 2. Finally, for this batch, we have The Division 2. Ubisoft really nailed the atmosphere of a collapsing Washington, D.C. It's eerie, overgrown, and strangely beautiful. This is a looter-shooter through and through, which means it's all about that grind for better gear. And let's be honest, grinding is always better with a friend. The mission design is top tier, the firefights are intense, and the cover-to-cover movement feels incredibly smooth. When you and your duo are flanking a group of Black Tusk soldiers, using your skills like a healing drone or a turret to control the battlefield, it feels like a high-stakes chess match. The Dark Zone is where things get truly spicy. It's that high-risk, high-reward area where you can find the best loot, but other players or even your friends can turn on you and steal it. The tension of waiting for an extraction helicopter while looking at every other player with suspicion is a feeling you just don't get in other games. I will say the story is a bit forgettable. It's mostly just go here, shoot this, but the world building through audio logs and environmental storytelling is fantastic. It's a very technical game with a lot of stats to manage, which makes it perfect for a duo that loves to theory craft and build the ultimate meta squad.
9. Conan Exiles. If you want a survival game that feels heavy and brutal, Conan Exiles is where it's at. I remember waking up on that cross in the middle of the desert and thinking, how am I going to survive this? It's a harsh, unforgiving world, but building a fortress with a friend makes it feel like you're actually conquering the land. The building system is surprisingly deep. You can start with a tiny sandstone shack and end up with a massive mountain castle. But the real hook here is the thrall system. Capturing NPCs and breaking them to serve your base is dark, sure, but it adds a layer of management that most survival games miss. The world is huge. You go from scorching deserts to frozen peaks and haunted swamps. Each biome feels like a different game. My buddy and I spent an entire weekend just preparing for a purge, which is when the game sends waves of enemies to destroy your base. The panic of repairing walls while he fended off a giant snake was pure adrenaline. I'll admit, the combat can feel a bit clunky or floaty at times, and the grind for materials like star metal is a total slog. But when you're sitting at a campfire in your own custom-built hall, wearing armor you crafted from a dragon you killed together, that's the peak of the barbarian fantasy. It's a gritty, mature sandbox that rewards patience and teamwork.
10. Saints Row. I'm mainly looking at Saints Row the 3rd and Saints Row 4 here because, let's be honest, they are the kings of co-op chaos. While GTA tries to be grounded and cool, Saints Row just grabs a neon bat and starts swinging for the fences. Playing the entire campaign in co-op is some of the most fun I've ever had. I remember my friend was dressed as a giant hot dog while I was a blue-skinned alien, and we were just causing absolute mayhem in Steelport. The game doesn't take itself seriously at all, and that's why it works so well. You're not just a criminal, you're the leader of the Saints, and eventually you're the president fighting off an alien invasion with superpowers. The drop-in, drop-out co-op is super smooth. One minute you're doing a serious mission, the next your friend is driving a tank over your head just for the hell of it. The customization is legendary. You can spend hours just making the most cursed-looking characters together. I will say the latest reboot was a bit of a letdown for many fans, myself included, because it lost some of that edge, but the classic games still play like a dream. If you and your duo just want to turn off your brains, use dubstep guns to make cars dance, and fly through the air like Superman, this is the series. It's pure, unfiltered, stupid fun in an open world that encourages you to break the rules.
11. DayZ. We have to talk about the granddaddy of survival horror. DayZ is not for everyone. It's slow, it's punishing, and you will die from a cold or a rusty can of beans before you even see a zombie. But that's what makes it so legendary. Playing DayZ alone is a depressing horror game. Playing it with a friend is an intense survival drama. I remember running for miles through the woods of Chernarus just to find my friend because we didn't have a map. When we finally met up at a coastal town, it was a genuine relief. You start to value the small things, a spare magazine, a box of matches, or a clean canteen. The player interactions are what make this game humiliate scripted experiences. You see another duo in the distance. Do you wave? Do you hide? Do you open fire? The tension is unbearable because when you die, you lose everything. There's no respawn with gear here. My buddy and I once spent 3 hours just fixing up an old car, only to have it blow up 2 minutes later because we hit a fence. We weren't even mad. We were just laughing at the absurdity of it. It's a walking simulator with guns and extreme stakes. It's janky as hell, and the engine can be a nightmare, but the stories you come away with are more real than any other game on this list. It's a true test of friendship. 12. Red Dead Online. Closing out this batch is Red Dead Online. Even though Rockstar hasn't given it the same love as GTA, the world of Red Dead is arguably the most beautiful open world ever created. Riding through the heartlands with your duo, hunting legendary animals, or just sitting at a camp in the Grizzlies while the snow falls, it's incredibly immersive. The roles system is where the fun is. You can be bounty hunters together, dragging outlaws back to jail, or moonshiners running a secret bar. There's a slower pace here that I really appreciate. It's about the vibe as much as the action. The gunplay is heavy and cinematic. When a shootout breaks out in a saloon in Valentine, it feels like a scene from Westworld. I love that you can customize your horses in your camp to make it feel like your own little slice of the Old West. The downside? The economy is a bit broken, and it can feel like a gold bar grind sometimes. Also, Rockstar basically stopped adding major content, which breaks my heart because the potential is infinite. But even so, just for the atmosphere and the chance to live out a cowboy fantasy with your best friend, it's worth it. It's a masterpiece of world building that lets you slow down and actually live in the game world.
You said you got a few things for us?
13. Rust. If DayZ is a survival drama, Rust is a high-speed psychological thriller. I'm going to be completely honest, this game is brutal. It's probably the most toxic and stressful game on this list, but that's exactly why it's so addictive when you have a partner. I remember the first time a friend and I built a small sheet metal base. We spent the whole night taking turns staying awake because we were terrified of getting raided. It's a game where you start naked on a beach with a rock and end up in a full-scale tactical raid with C4 and rocket launchers. The tension of hearing footsteps outside your door while you're trying to organize your loot is something no other game can replicate. The building system is incredibly clever, allowing for some really big-brain trap bases and defensive layouts. But the real core of Rest is the social engineering. You and your duo have to decide who to trust, which is usually nobody. It's a world where everyone is out for blood, and having a friend to watch your back while you're farming wood or scouting a rival clan is the only way to progress. I've had some of my most heartbreaking losses and most exhilarating victories in this game. It's raw, it's mean, and it's visually striking in a very gritty way. If you have thick skin and a loyal friend, it's a legendary experience. But be prepared, it will test your friendship to the limit.
Got lucky.
Number 14. Monster Hunter Rise. Let's switch gears to something a bit more heroic. Monster Hunter Rise is the pinnacle of boss fight gameplay. While the world is technically divided into large zones, the sense of exploration and the way you use the wire bug to zip around the environment makes it feel like a vertical playground. I've spent countless hours with my duo just hunting the Magnum Aloe, trying to get that one rare drop. The game is built entirely around co-op synergy. If I'm using a heavy bowgun to provide cover fire from a distance, and my buddy's right in the monster's face with a greatsword, the flow of combat feels incredibly rewarding. Each hunt is like a 15 to 20-minute dance of death. You have to learn the monster's patterns, prepare your traps, and manage your items. The feeling of finally toppling a massive elder dragon together after a grueling fight is a high that few games can deliver. The world building is very Japanese folklore inspired, and it looks beautiful on PC and consoles. My only complaint? The menus and the systems can be super overwhelming for new players. There's a lot of homework to do regarding armor skills and decorations, but once you get it, it's arguably the most satisfying loop in gaming. It's all about the bond between hunters and the thrill of the chase. 15. Elite Dangerous. Finally, we're ending on a scale that is literally galactic. Elite Dangerous is a 1-to-1 scale recreation of the Milky Way. Yes, you heard that right. It's mind-numbingly massive. This isn't just an open world, it's an open universe. I remember the first time my friend and I winged up in our Sidewinders. We were just two tiny ships in a cold, dark void. But as we started taking on bounty hunting missions in asteroid belts and trading rare commodities across star systems, the game clicked. The Odyssey expansion even lets you step out of your ship and explore planets on foot, turning it into a true first-person space adventure. The learning curve is steep. It's basically a flight simulator in space. Mapping your controls and learning how to dock without blowing yourself up is a rite of passage. But when you're out there, light years from civilization, looking at a neutron star with your friend, it's a profound experience. You can be space pirates, humble miners, or elite explorers. The sound design is the best in the industry. The creak of your cockpit and the roar of the frameshift drive give me goosebumps every time. It's a slow burn game that rewards those who want to carve out their own story in the stars. It's the ultimate forever game to play with a dedicated partner. And that's the list, guys. 15 open world giants that are just begging for you to bring a friend along. But hey, what did I miss? Is there an open world gem that you and your duo absolutely live for? Maybe something like Sea of Thieves or Valheim? Let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for a new world to get lost in.